Okay, so and then the other big thing we are really going to talk about is Google entering the fray of gaming.
That is true.
More so than just the Chrome dinosaur game.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but
well, when your internet goes out, you can still start up Chrome and play a dinosaur game.
Oh, that's cool, I guess. Is that the little dinosaur that pops up that tells you your internet's out?
Yeah.
There's a game to that?
Yeah.
Oh.
You can run left and you can run right and jump.
Yeah, it's an endless runner, I guess.
Oh, I just quit and be like, it's fine.
Yeah. So this is an interesting thing. I feel like the panel here is going to be split in some interesting ways. Corey, you specifically requested to start off.
I did, because I think I'm the one that is like the most positive about it. And it's not because I'm like excited for what Google does with it. I'm actually excited to see what this tech brings in terms of what Microsoft is going to do with it when they announce theirs. Just because
Spencer did say he felt validated by it. So.
Yeah. Well, like I think it's really interesting to see all the integration and all of the like the YouTube integration, the microphone on the controller, I can jump into this Twitch streamer save state or this streamer's I guess it would be YouTube at this point. This streamer's multiplayer game, my friend's multiplayer game. I can watch an ad for this game and click buy now and instantly be playing it within 5 seconds. I can play it on my TV, to my laptop, to my phone. Like all that stuff is super interesting. But I'm more interested to see like where Microsoft is, because I think everything that Google showed, and granted, I know this was a developers conference and this was a show for the developers. They didn't really show a whole lot in terms of the consumer side, at least, except for the controller, which I think actually looks really nice. It kind of looks like the Switch Pro controller with the DualShock layout, but
it looks like a game controller should look.
Yeah, there's not much evidence of a game controller at this point, right?
Yeah,
you're gonna have to have 2 analog sticks, 4 triggers, 4 face buttons, D-pad, that kind of thing. Bare
minimum.
Yeah. So, but I'm more interested to see what Microsoft does with it, because we were talking on where were we talking? I don't know. We were talking on one of the other 9,000 things that we do, and like anything that Google showed off, like potentially Microsoft could do the same exact thing and be 5 steps ahead of Google, because they have the Xbox fan base, they have the first party studios and lineup to pull it off, and they have the safety of you can have both, where you can have the games on your hard drive and stream them no matter where you're at, and I think that aspect of it is going to get people to jump in. It's going to be easier to dip your toe in the water if you know that safety net is there, One
of the main differences you have to look at in their approaches is that Google is targeting a considerably higher end user experience than Microsoft currently are with the cloud, xCloud, because xCloud is based on actual Xbox One S hardware. So it's going to deliver at most an Xbox One S level of performance and play, whereas Google is running this off of, they didn't say which CPU, that's a custom CPU, but they're certainly running it off Vega 56. For the GPU, it's considerably higher end, in ideal circumstances, user experience. So Microsoft have said they're going to scale. So whatever hardware they're running next gen will be included eventually in the cloud. So they'll upgrade it over time, but at least at launch. And we don't have much longer to wait, because Microsoft is going to talk about it pretty soon. But I think they're certainly targeting different. I mean, you heard Google talking about we support up to 8K or 4K 60 on Doom Eternal. They're targeting different ends of the spectrum, basically. Right now, anyways.
Yeah, and like the thing is too is if Google can target 4K 60, like that's great and all, but like this streaming tech, I think it's not really for us. It's for the 80% of the people who aren't quote unquote hardcore and just want to play a game every once in a while, I feel like. And like I feel like if Microsoft and Google can just get that streaming to good enough, I think people will start buying into it. You know, it's the the Netflix effect, where like 4K Netflix is not Blu-ray 4K, right?
No, it's not. The compression kills it, and there's artifacting on the visuals, and the audio is different. Now, for the average person, it's not a big deal. Like, you just want to watch whatever. You turn on Netflix and watch.
Yeah,
something.
But like, you've been playing Counter-Strike a lot, right? You're never going to want to play Counter-Strike on this thing.
You wouldn't be able to. No, I mean, if you for a deep dive on it, like Digital Foundry have done a good breakdown where they record all the latency and stuff. For anything fast-based, I mean, you would not want to be playing Dark Souls on this thing, or anything that requires precision movement. At least with the current
clearly you've never played Dark Souls multiplayer.
with the like the current internet infrastructure,
Just remember, if Moose and I are playing each other in Dark Souls multiplayer, I can be 500 feet away from him with a short sword and still hit him.
It's not where you'd want to play something, like a fast-paced shooter. But I'm not a customer. I'm never going to be a customer of it, because I prefer just a dedicated hardware. But I love the tech of it. I'm interested to see what they do with it.
Yeah, and like what I was listening to the latest Bombcast on Friday, because I'm always late on that show. But like, they said, the streaming services that had come before, like, they would build the car, but they wouldn't build the highway, right? Mm-hmm. And Google is trying to do both right now, which is another interesting thing, with all these data centers and Google Fiber being planted everywhere. And if Google Fiber ends up taking off and becomes more widespread, they have the money to burn on this for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years until they get it right. And unlike OnLive, which, something like that needed it to work within the first couple months, or, even the PlayStation Now stuff. Like, PlayStation's been dipping their toes in this for 4, 5 years at this point.
The whole gen. I mean, they were supporting streaming. I mean, they supported streaming from your PS4 launch day.
Yeah.
You could stream to Android. You could stream to your Vita. They've been trying a lot of it. Like, it's for me, if I were to jump into this kind of technology, again, because I prefer having my dedicated hardware, the only thing that would make me interested is A, the pricing, and B, do they have exclusive content that I can only play there? So I know they have Jade Raymond, for example, heading up something for them, right? So if they were to have a game I could only play on this, okay, and I really want to play that game, then obviously I have to get it. That's why I buy consoles, right? For the exclusive content on them. So that was the only thing that would make me interested, really, but it would never replace my regular gaming devices.
Yeah, and that's the one thing too, is like, this isn't going to be something that's going to replace your PC or your PlayStation or your Xbox or whatever. It's going to be, at least for me on my end, like, I think I'm going to get it and try it. Like, I want to try it because I'm not going to be building a whole library around this Google system, right? But I'll try 1 or 2 games and be like, see if it works. And in a couple months, if it doesn't work great right away, like in 6 months, I'll try it again. And 6 months.
How much would you be willing to pay for this? Would you pay $20 a month?
Is it? I thought it was just.
They haven't done pricing. No, they cost money.
I know it costs money, but I thought you were just going to buy the games piecemeal, and like you would just buy like a Chromecast and a controller.
They haven't said anything.
They haven't said anything about that.
Nothing about pricing. So say it's a subscription. Would you pay $20 a month for this?
No, I would do the free trial and then end it when it was done. At first, and then depending on how well it ran or what their exclusive games are or whatever, like maybe 6 months from now, I would try it. But. I don't know. Like I said, I'm more interested in like what Microsoft is going to do with it, because I would love to be playing Halo on my Xbox, and then go to bed and like continue playing it on my phone with the little dongle that keeps my phone in place with my Xbox controller. Like, I think that would be really cool if I could just do that. Or, maybe Halo's not the best example, but like something like Fable or whatever else they have coming, So
I'm interested in the technology of it. I mean, the more access you have to your content, the better, right? There's nothing wrong with that. I guess it would be the quality of that stream and whether that's where you want to play it. I mean, I don't like playing when I have the Switch. I don't like playing it handheld. I prefer to have it on the big screen, right? But that option is there for you if you want it.
Yeah.
And I like that. There's nothing wrong with that. The more choices the consumer has, the better.
Yeah. Like, I'm the same way. I prefer to play my Switch on the TV unless I'm like laying in bed and like, I honestly have a second dock when it was on sale on Amazon for like $30. I bought one so I could actually play the game in the bedroom, on the TV. And, but that option is there. And that's what I like about the streaming is like, if I'm going to play a game, have a game on my Xbox, I can stream it somewhere else too. And that's what I'm looking forward to the most out of this tech, I think. So I don't know. I'm super interested in this tech and what I want to know. How is Google really going to put money behind this? Are they really going to support this? Like, or is this just going to be another Google Plus type situation? Or,
Google
what I mean? Yeah. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, is this just a project they're like pouring money into, and then if it doesn't work, they're just going to throw it away?
Well, I don't, in my opinion, I don't think it is.
Yeah. I'm the same way too, Moose. I think that too, because they wouldn't have had this big press conference. They wouldn't have had, one of the biggest names in gaming head their first party studio. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't even know who she is. So
Jade Raymond,
Jade Raymond's awesome.
Assassin's Creed, Splinter Cell.
Yeah, like
Jade Raymond. She's one of the ones that left EA just recently.
Yeah, she wasn't she like working on like a Star Wars game or something?
With Motive.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So here's my thoughts on it. You want to know what this is? This is Google dipping their toe in streaming, but also a better way for them to take on Twitch. Because if you look at it, like YouTube streaming, like they're canceling it, or it's just tanking. It's not doing well, and YouTube content creators would rather create like small bite-sized videos for their audiences to enjoy, whereas like Twitch has just got a foothold on that. Well, this like we were saying allows you to jump in at a save state where your favorite streamer is playing and be like, I want to try that boss, or I want to see what's going on with that, or you're watching a streamer play an actual game and be like, I want to try that game and play it, and you can jump in and just play the game for a while and then pick it up in multiple places, like mobile, be it your computer, your phone. Well, I mean your phone or your tablet. So I think that's what they're trying to do. And so my response to you saying like, I hope it's just this doesn't like fizzle like Google Plus or Google Glass. I don't think it will.
No, I don't think.
I think it's going to be around as long as, if not longer than YouTube, and I think it's eventually what YouTube is going to morph into. Eventually, like
Google will make YouTube that because they own it, but
I think
Google will make YouTube that because they own it.
Yeah, no, I know. They'll everything they do. They'll just be like, we're just going to move Stadia, YouTube up under Stadia.
I think the interesting too with YouTube with Stadia also is like theoretically you're going to be able to talk to your controller and tell it to help you, beat this area of the game, and like it'll just bring up a YouTube video, right?
Yeah, like that's
super interesting to me at least. Although you can just type it into your phone and do the same thing, but I don't know. I feel like it's weird because Stadia is eliminating a lot of things, good and bad, right? Like one of the bad things is like that sense of ownership over a game too, right? Where our generation of gamers has always had this sense of ownership over games. And, what does a younger generation think? Do they think that they own their games, or do they just play games to play them? Like are we reaching that point where we are not the demographic for this? You know what I mean?
I don't think we've been the demographic for a lot of games for a long time, but somehow we keep playing them.
I don't know. I'm pretty hip with what the kids are playing these days. I'm flossing, stand out there and floss to Carlton.
Do you know how to floss?
I know what you're talking about.
Sometimes I like fake floss, and my wife just tells me I'm an idiot. She just said, "Go sit down." And I'm like, "Okay." That's how that goes.
Sana tells Corey
to
make her a sandwich.
I'm also like way too large to floss because I can't really fit my arms around my body the way that skinny kids can. So there's also that problem.
Is that the backpack kid? Is that what he is famous for?
Yeah. I like how famous people just have these like weird names now, like Backpack Kid, Orange Shirt Kid.
Who's Orange Shirt Kid?
I don't know. He has some kind of dance that was being sued, that Fortnite was being sued for also. So I don't know. There was also like Open Mouth Kid at some point. I don't know. All these kids are just weird. Orange Shirt Kid.
I think the kid's parents are probably weird.
How many kids have orange shirts? I'm just saying. Come up with a better name. Orange Shirt Kid. Backpack Kid got famous because Katy Perry took him on Saturday Night Live, I think. But
okay.
We watched that episode. That's the only reason why I know. And he flossed during a Katy Perry song.
So I really wanted to dig into Stadia and take notes, but every time I watched that conference 4 times, and I stopped taking notes every time about 10 minutes in, because the first parts of that presentation are actually like that's like Google mapping out your dark digital future.
Yeah.
And like Brad and Jeff on Giant Bomb, they were like, "This is frightening." Like they're just doing this, and you're just like, "Yeah, they're doing that." And then I think the technology is interesting, and I've seen and heard a lot of people say, "Yeah, no way this shit's gonna work. No way this shit's gonna work." But at the same time, it's just like you are an opinion on the internet, and Google has a system of network software and computer engineers, probably in and around the PhD mastery level of this. So chances are they might know how to do this just a little bit better. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going. I mean, the fact that Google got in front of folks and said, "Hey, this is what we're doing. This is going to happen." They're not just being, "Yeah, this is a lark. We're just going to see if this works." So I'm definitely fascinated by it. I also have more of a belief in them pulling it off, whereas if Sony or Microsoft got in front of people with this kind of presentation, I'd be like, I wouldn't think they could do it. Like if this was Phil Spencer saying this or Sean Layden saying this, I'm like, no, I don't buy this for a second, because you were the same folks that said Vita was going to be play anywhere, play your PS4 games anywhere. And how did that work out? Oh yeah.
There is an article you can look up. Engadget are very critical of it, skeptical of it.
Oh no. Yeah. I read that one.
So there are certainly some people, again, I think it's a real product. I mean, I don't think it's
like this is
show. I mean, it's a real thing. I think, they purposely show it under the best possible conditions.
Of course.
And, they don't.
Oh, you mean they vertical sliced it? Are you kidding me?
They, yeah. I mean, they're talking about best case scenario in a lot of these cases, right?
Yeah, so, that's all. It's just fucking sales pitch. That's all it is.
Oh yeah, no, certainly. I mean, there is, if you want to satisfy your curiosity, there are people like Engadget, who we had mentioned, who have done critical pieces of it. Forbes has one for as much value as you place in their technology department.
None.
And, I don't particularly like their game coverage either. Again, I'm excited about it, but I'm always excited about technology. I mean, that's something I've been obsessed with since I got my first computer in the 80s. Like, I love technology, right? So I want it to be awesome. I want it to be exactly what they say it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm not going to be a customer unless it's got some incredible exclusive game on it that I can only play there. But I want it to be big.
See, I don't think there will be an exclusive for this. I really don't.
Well, if they're making their own studios, like they've got,
if they have their first party studio, they're going to make something.
Here's the thing. I also have this weird hunch that we're thinking about this the wrong way. Like, I don't necessarily think this is them just making a console and entering that space.
I don't mean making a console, but
no. Let me finish.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna finish anyway, so we'll just mute you.
That's what she said.
I didn't mute you, but I also think this is like Oculus coming out. It's a new, for lack of a better word, weirdo coming into the space and saying this might be a way to move forward, and I feel like that's the paradigm rather than just, hey, Google's going to put out a box that's going to sit right next to your PS4 and your Xbox and your Nintendo and your PC. And for all you idiots that bought an Ouya, right next to that too. I think this is just a new dimensional shift for the industry. And I know that probably sounds hyperbolic, but I don't know another way to say it. I actually think that apart from, like, if Google does have a first party studio, I think that this will probably be a thing that you don't necessarily have to buy that first party exclusive or whatever. You might not have to buy a box to play it.
Oh no, I don't even think there is a box.
There isn't a box.
There's no box.
But like Corey made the highway analogy, I think this is they're building the highway and everything else is the car.
See, I took it as Google Fiber was the highway and Stadia is the car. Is how I kind of took it.
Well, but see, they didn't mention Google Fiber at all in the presentation.
Well, they don't need to. It's not part of their games initiative.
No, but my point here is I think this is going to be a space in which everybody gets involved.
Like with
I don't
streaming or with Google?
Yeah. Like, I think everybody will probably have a place in this. Like, think of this as think about Steam, for example. Right. Everybody's games are on Steam, unless your Rape Day. So my guess here, and this is completely a guess, is this might be the way to stream from somewhere to a PS4, or somewhere to an Xbox, or somewhere to a Switch.
Well, they've said that they want to support every device. Like that you can play Stadia on your PS4, right?
Yeah.
If I'm grokking what you're saying, I believe you're trying to say that they're going to allow anyone to put their games on this service. Sony putting Last of Us on. Is that what you're trying to say? Like,
yeah.
Like, you think everyone will have their games on this?
I think eventually they will, yeah.
I mean, like, they've tried. I don't know if they ever did this. There was a time where they were talking about just Sony selling TVs with PlayStation hardware built into it, or like PS Now app on it, and you can just get a controller and just play. Right? You have the TV, you don't have to buy a separate console. I mean, there's lots of ways they could go with it. My impression of it was that it's all third-party stuff and possibly Google's first-party stuff. I mean, they have Jade Raymond there for a reason.
Yeah, that was my impression.
They're going to have, like Netflix has exclusive content as well as third-party stuff. That's, I mean, hopefully they don't acquire $10 billion of debt like Netflix has, but that was my impression of it, was that it's a streaming service that you can access.
I feel like if Google were to buy Take-Two, that changes this entire discussion.
If what, sorry? If
Google were to out and out buy Take-Two, that changes this entire discussion.
I would be annoyed by that as a I think the more I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff.
Right.
Limiting me as a consumer to the amount of places that I can play those games. Personally, I don't like that, but I understand that it's a business and they need to acquire content and IPs and exclusive content in order to push people towards their service or box or platform or whatever it is. But yeah, I really don't like that stuff. Like, not a fan. But no, I would understand from a Google's perspective why they'd want to do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's where GTA is, and then all of a sudden, everyone's like, okay, I guess we got to look at Google as a serious thing now, or at least any gamer person, I guess. Anybody else have any thoughts on this?
It'd be nice if they would allow you to, rather than just streaming, if they would allow you to download some type of local copy or like download local files so you could cache them and not have to stream the entire thing as they go forward.
Probably move in that direction.
What's that, sorry?
I mean, like if you look at PS Now, they're allowing that.
Yeah, I think at some point they're going to have to probably offer both.
Offer that as an option. Like, hey, you're on your phone. Well, your phone only has like 128 gigs or whatever. Yeah. You're not going to try and put a game on there. So
you're going to melt your battery playing.
Yeah, but you've got like a tablet or whatever, which probably is not a good example. But you got your computer and you're like, oh, hey, I'm going to be playing the hell out of, I don't know, Division 2. I'm going to download it there. You know what I mean? And like you said, like just be able to play it off. They're probably going to have a store where it's a streaming service, and then also you can buy games. And then the games, you could be like your photos and all your other stuff with the Google. Just keep it in the cloud, and I'll access it when I want to, the way I want to, whether I download it or stream it. Like that's how they're going to probably work it. But it's probably going to be something that, I mean, heck, they might even wait and do it. Or not wait. They might just launch it from the get-go. You know, like some other companies might be something where they're like, we're just going to try the streaming service at first, but Google might have they got the infrastructure to just do it all at once.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they have the money too. So, I mean, they have.
Yeah, I think
they have the money. They've got information too.
Yeah. I think at some point they're gonna. I don't know if like going all in on streaming is going to work for them at first. Like I think eventually they're going to allow you to do what PlayStation allows you to do, right? Is like download PS4 and PS2 games. I think that feature will eventually come, especially if like this doesn't take off the way they want it to. But again, it might be a slow burn for them. You know, it might take them 3, 4, 5 years to get this to where they actually want it to be and be viable in terms of streaming, and like Google has the money to burn, right? It's just how much dedication are they going to put into this?
Yeah.
So
I think they're certainly going to buy a lot of influencer content on this for sure. I think they will streamers playing and then saying, hey, jump into whatever Ninja's game.
Well, and that was the one thing of the entire conference, well, keynote, I guess I should say, that just it put a bad taste in my mouth, is every time they referred to YouTube positively. I mean, I know our show's on YouTube, that's fine, but like there's a lot of shit on YouTube. There's a lot of problematic shit on YouTube. And it's real weird that
but YouTube also has Will It Blend. And that's a great channel.
Crickets. Hello.
If you want to see a blender, blend golf balls. But I get what you're saying.
Like
they're going to promote their own.
It has a lot of fucking white supremacist shit on it.
Yes, I know.
A lot of humanity's finest. Just
okay, but the entire internet does kill.
Yeah, I know, but at the same time, it's like maybe that's a different discussion.
It's a different discussion, but
it's a way different discussion.
I mean, they're not going to mention that in their promotion.
Yeah, but it's just like
platform.
YouTube. But like some people, when you mention YouTube, like that shit comes to their head first. Like for me, the problematic shit I engage with the most on YouTube, and I'm not ashamed to admit this, is the flat Earth stuff, because that shit is fucking hilarious.
But you go looking for that.
I will go look for some dumb flat Earth shit, because
what I mean is like
those people are hilarious.
It's not like in your face when you go on YouTube.
Depending on the way the algorithm is, because remember late last year everybody fell in love with that weird 80s J-pop song Plastic Love because it just showed up everywhere.
Flat Earth stuff is stupid. I'm not sure I'd call it problematic. I mean, like, I think anti-vax stuff is problematic.
Yeah,
like that's dangerous.
Well, here's the thing: Flat Earth has a convention now, so clearly there's a problem happening.
Yeah, I mean that's another show as well, right? But I don't know if I'd call that problematic content. It's just questionable, certainly, but I mean it's unfortunate. Yeah, but like,
yeah, I mean spreading of misinformation is.
We're talking about gaming though, so we'll stick to that.
Let's go back to games. Okay, so do we have any other thoughts on Stadia? Anybody else have anything?
I think it's good if you have good internet and you don't have a kick-ass PC, like to let the cloud do the computing. And if Google backs up what they said it'll do, then that's awesome. And it might be something I buy into. And I mean, I've got Google Play Music. I've got YouTube Red or Premium.
You've got a Pixel.
I've got a Pixel 3. I just had to replace my Pixel. So I wouldn't doubt if they come out and say, here are our price tiers when they finally do. And then they're like, oh, hey, by the way, if you already have a bunch of our services, here it is at a discounted price, you know? So it might be something that I will try, but also it might be something where I'm like, hey, I'm just going to watch people play it and check it out. And then I'll try and eventually see after like a month of reviews, see how things are going on. But I think it could be cool for a lot of people who want to try AAA games and just don't want to deal with like a console or a PC.
Like as someone who loves the industry, loves video games, the more people playing games and supporting the industry, like to me is a win.
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly.
It doesn't have to be a place that I want to play on. But the more people being driven to video games and supporting developers, more games coming out. I mean, that only benefits me as a gamer. Mm-hmm. And, I don't want to see developers starving and working for years on a game only to have to go out of business and get another job, right? It's so if this kind of thing or Game Pass or any of these new initiatives can help that, I'm completely in favor of it, even if I myself am not a customer.
Yeah. Okay. Final thoughts, Corey, Moose.
No, I'm good.
Okay.